Hello, friends, and welcome to Escaping the Mouse with your host, me, Breck Roll. All right, basically, the job of today was to get some things done for my parents before I go home tomorrow. My father had a few things that he needed my help with. They're starting to kind of pack stuff up to get ready to, move. One of the things they want to do is downsize some of the stuff they have. So a bunch of stuff is going over like Goodwill or over to charities and stuff like that. And my father needed a little help getting that packed into the car. Also, when I was here on Thanksgiving, I installed his Christmas lights, but I wasn't quite sure how he did his electronic timer. And, he doesn't like having to go out in the garage and turn stuff on and turn it off every day. And he had an elaborate timer hooked up, but I wasn't really able to figure out how he had that working. So we went out today and got that all hooked up. I know it's like 3 days after Christmas at this point, and the Christmas lights are only going to be going for a couple more days, but I think he really wanted to make sure it worked, so that when he gets to it next year, if he's still here, he'll be able to deal with it. And since I'm the only one that can really get up there and do it, and I also somebody who can, like, if there is an electrical problem in there, I can kind of handle that kind of thing, then we can deal with that also. But the big task for today was to go look at the second of the two senior assisted living houses that they're considering. This is another place that's a little bit closer to their home, which is kind of good for them because it's going to be closer to their friends. It's going to be closer to their church. It's going to be closer to where they go for doctor's appointments. It's going to be closer to where they go for hair appointments. And so they were really looking forward to checking this one out. Now, my sister apparently went a couple weeks ago and she really liked the place, but obviously my parents have to check it out too. Uh, One of the things that they said that they really liked about it, and I thought was really nice, it was actually a little bit bigger than the place we went a couple days ago. Uh, that place was pretty big too, but the living room and the master bedroom were a little bit on the small side. And my parents sleep in a king size bed, and with the size of the apartment that they were looking at, the master bedroom, if they put a king size bed in there, there wasn't going to be a whole lot of extra room in there. So this one had a significantly larger master bedroom. It also had a significantly larger um, living room area, which is great because then they can move their couch and maybe a couple lazy boy chairs in there, and they can get their TV and still have a bunch of stuff in there. Now, one of the things I noticed, as someone who's kind of dealt with moving into an apartment recently, is some of the workmanship I thought was a little below par. It's nowhere near the "that's not how it's done" stuff that we see here and that I saw in my apartment in Texas, but it's just some kind of sloppy things that they did that I thought probably could have been done a little bit better. It looks like, they just didn't put their all into some of the things, and some of it seemed a little sloppy and a little bit old. But in by and large, my parents really like that place. They understand that while some of the workmanship maybe not exactly up to par, they really like the place, and I think that they can you know, learn to just accept the minor little blemishes. One of the things they really like about the place, in addition to the fact that it's larger than the other place that they looked, is that they've got a lot of freedom to kind of do what they want in the apartment. My mom walked in initially and said she hated the colors on the walls, but apparently, if my parents are willing to pay for the paint, they will come in and repaint the place any color they want. My mom also wasn't a huge fan of the carpet and wants to have that changed, and they'll do that too. So, one of the other advantages on this one is since it wasn't actually somebody's actual apartment like it was last time, I can actually show you the video that I shot. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show it to you and kind of give you a little blow by blow commentary as we go along. So, let's take a look at that video. All right, so this is kind of our first view of the apartment. The door on the left, that's the front door, and it enters right into the kitchen here. Now, one of the first things I noticed in the kitchen was that it seemed a little smaller than the previous place we'd gone to. What I did like about it is that there was a lot more cabinet space. I think the old place had three or four overhead cabinets and like two cabinets beneath the counters. And so this place has all sorts of, cabinet space in it. Now, one of the things I noticed is that the cabinets seemed a little bit on the cheap side. And my mom noticed that too. She wasn't really into the color and probably wants to repaint it. She also doesn't like the color on the walls in here. And she does not really into that yellow. Now, being the looky-loo I am, of course, I poked into all the closets, but check out that closet and all the storage space that's in there. That's not normal for the apartments, but apparently the previous tenant, built in all that storage space in there and then left it in. So I also noticed that there really isn't a whole lot of room in the kitchen for like a kitchen table. But now we get out of here into the living room and check out the size of that living room. We'll come back to that in a minute. But going down, one of the things I really liked was these extra wide halls going down into the back room. Now this room here is the guest bathroom, and it's a nice big spacious bedroom, bathroom, with all the fixtures on the wall. Nice walk-in shower there that looks like it's been completely remodeled recently. Handrails and all that, which you'd want, if you're gonna, be in a senior assisted place. Now this little room here, look at that. They hid the washer and dryer in there. That's really cool, right? My parents are really into the fact that they can kind of do their own clothing and stuff like that. Now check out this closet. This thing is amazing. Look at all the storage in this place. All the shelves in there. Once again, the old tenant put this stuff in there. This isn't normal for the apartment, but they put it in there and left it in there. So that is now part of the apartment if they choose to get that. Now we're going to flip around here and we're going to go into the guest bedroom. This will probably end up turning out to be my mom's TV room, but I guess my father will have to share it also. Now check out this whole porch area here. This is like virtually all dedicated to my parents' apartment if they take this room. And of course, this is a closet in the guest bedroom. Once again, look at all the storage in here, all the shelving and all that. So that's definitely one of the things that was superior to the previous place is, all the storage in there. And of course, we have this door that goes into the guest bathroom that we've already been in. So we go out of this door into this door, and this is the master bedroom. Now check out this closet too. Once again, all the storage space, all the shelves in there. It's just really amazing in there. And look at the size of this bedroom. You could easily put a king size bed in here and still have room for other stuff. And once again, that's all part of the deck that's part of this apartment. So, really a lot of nice space in here. And then into the master bathroom. This is one of the things I have a little bit of a criticism for is it's actually got a bathtub in here rather than another walk-in shower. In fact, the lady that was showing us around saying that they may end up swapping all that stuff out at some point, turn it into a shower because nobody really uses those anymore. But yeah, look at the view out of this window. This whole porch area is for this one apartment. And it wraps all the way around the apartment. So yeah, this is a really, really nice place. Like I said, my mom doesn't like the color on the walls. She's not really into the carpet, but those are all things that they're willing to change for us. Now, these are just some of the little nitpicky things that I saw that kind of seemed to me that they just kind of got sloppy. It looks at this point that they at one point had like a cutout underneath there and then reattached that at some point, and they just didn't do a very good job covering it up. Like I said, it's not really a big thing. It's not going to be structural. It's not going to be dangerous. It's just not really pretty looking. And this is in the guest bathroom. It looks like they took the sink and the little pedestal above the toilet there and just attached it together. They just didn't do a really nice job on that, I thought. This is, of course, I talked about this a moment ago, about how it really isn't there aren't a lot of people anymore, especially seniors who do bathtubs anymore. And it's kind of difficult, when you have mobility issues to kind of get in and out of a bathtub like that. That's why a lot of these places are moving over to showers that don't have much of a step into it, or have a little dam on the edge so that you can literally roll a wheelchair into it if you need to. So, like I said, the person who was showing us the apartment said that, this might be something that gets renovated sooner rather than later. But even here, look at all the handrails in there to help get in and out. Uh, my parents, this is just a personal thing for them, but they've always preferred more round toilet bowls than the kind of oval ones. And so that was one of the things I noticed in here is that both the toilet seats and toilet bowls were the oval shaped, and they aren't really into that. So I don't know how we'll deal with that. I'm guessing my parents, if they chose, could replace the toilets if they wanted to. I'm also not really impressed with the medicine cabinet that has the three doors that open separately. If you're gonna have a big one like this, have two doors that open in the middle rather than the three that kind of do this kind of thing. It's just I don't know. I'm just not really into that. It makes it hard to get to big portions of it, and I don't know. I just think it's a little sloppy. And this is something I noticed that just this is probably my only that's not how it's done moment here, because inside that medicine cabinet there where the hinge was, the paint is clearly peeled off and they haven't really done anything to clean that up. And I think they could do better with that. Uh, and then this is just a finishing thing. This is one of the shelves inside the guest bathroom, and they were just really sloppy with the trim work, because you can see, it's sticking up there on in the front corner there. That's just not very pretty looking. This is actually the kitchen, the countertop where it meets up with the range, and you can see there that the formica, wasn't properly fitted with the side piece, and so there's a big gap in there, and that's just kind of ugly looking, I think. Uh, Once again, this is another area. I think this is in one of the bathrooms where they just didn't match the trim up really well. The side piece should have been at the same height as the front piece, and you can see it's clearly about a quarter of an inch higher. It's just kind of ugly. I noticed that the vent hood doesn't actually vent outside. That may just be an issue with the way the apartment's designed, but usually the point of a vent hood is so that it vents any fumes out of the apartment or house, and this one just vents them right into the house. So, just sloppy work. Probably not designed very well when they did it initially. This is kind of the valance over the window, kind of going out onto the patio porch thing. And I noticed that the pieces weren't connected very well together, and it also wasn't attached to the wall very well. So it seems like it might come off the wall pretty easily. That's probably just a simple fix, but it was one of those things I noticed. So as I mentioned, this is my last day in California. I'm going back to Texas tomorrow, and so this is going to be my last video in California. Tomorrow's video will probably be me traveling home. But we got a lot of things done today, so that was kind of a good thing. We did get to see that apartment. Like I said, my parents really like it because it's a lot bigger than the other one. And while I think the finishing was nicer on the other one, you know what? They're little minor insignificant things, and this place seems receptive to making minor changes to accommodate guests. So I'm guessing we can get those things fixed or at least resolved, and none of them are like really safety issues, short of maybe that valance thing over the window, and that can be easily fixed. So, if my parents are happy with it, and they seem to be, that may be the place for them. I think my sister's coming to visit my parents early next week, and she's going to go visit the place too. And I'm going to, I've given my parents videos of both of the places we visited so they can kind of look at it and see what they think, and review all their ideas and compare notes and stuff like that to see what they think and find the right place. And they may find that neither of them are the right place, and maybe they want to go to plan C. But you know what? I was glad I got a chance to go do this and throw my input in. There's a lot of things that I really like about that new apartment. One of the things I kind of wish I had in my apartment was as many electrical outlets as that place has. That place is swimming in electrical outlets, and that's a really positive thing. And so, it isn't all bad. It's a really nice apartment. There's a lot of space in there. It's very close to, like I said, where my parents currently live, so that they can, visit friends and continue going to church and go to the same, doctors that they've always gone to, and just kind of basically continue on the life that they've lived for the last, 54 years in this place. So, you know what? It's really up to them. I gave them my 2 cents and I told them, ultimately it's your decision. You got to figure out what you want. And I just kind of gave them my opinion on this, told them the little issues I had with the place. I also told them the things I really like about the place. And now it's really up to them. Like I said, they want to bounce some ideas off my sister and see what she thinks, get her viewpoint on the thing. But it's in their hands now. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you as always for watching. I'm headed back to Texas tomorrow, and I will see you next time on Escaping the Mouse. Good night.